I'm Ryan,
I'm Julie.
and this is the Stories We Leave You.
Today, we are talking about drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
About to get into our crazy past.
Oh, God.
Learn how wild we are.
We're.
Yeah, we're.
I can't even imagine dabbling in any of that. I say dabble so much. Sorry.
Why are you saying dabble?
Dabble.
That
I don't
does
know.
make you sound like a drug user. So tell me about your first experience with any type of drug or alcohol.
Well, alcohol didn't come into play until college.
That's good.
Drugs, on the other hand, not drugs, drug, meaning weed. I want to say early high school. First experience I remember was trying pot in this guy's car. I think his name was Derek, but everyone called him Jesus because
Don't tell everybody. You don't give out your drug dealers' names.
he wasn't my dealer.
Oh.
I just tried it. He was really chill, cool dude.
Yeah,
Probably 'cause
I
he
smoked
smoked
a
a lot of
pot.
But I remember we went to this Jewish youth group together.
Of course, it would be religion involved.
Yeah, I mean, I actually liked going to this because my Jewish friends were all in it to win it, and we were all in the same group. And I remember I would go with him sometimes in his dark green Jeep that always smelled like weed. Always. He never was like, if I'm going to drive you, you have to smoke weed with me and blah, blah, blah. It was more like, hey, do you want to try it? And I'm like, I don't know. And at this point, I think I had already tried cigarettes because by the time I could drive, well, no, you can't buy cigarettes until you're 18, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
You're just talking like regular cigarettes, like Marlboro. How do you say it?
Marlboro Lights.
Thank you for saying
Oh,
that.
no, I
Sorry.
tried like all sorts of them my senior year.
Did you not try a cigarette until your senior year?
No, I didn't buy cigarettes until my senior year because I couldn't. I'm pretty sure I tried them before that, though. Not a clue where I got them. Not a clue how that even came about. Not exciting. The weed, though, I remember it was on this, what they call a baddie. It was like a one-hit pipe, super teeny tiny. I told him, I was like, I literally have no idea what I'm doing. What is this going to do to me? He's like, nothing. And I remember I tried it and it made me cough a lot. And I was like, oh, why do people do this? And like the first time you smoke, no matter what, there's too much going on. You're too afraid to inhale properly. I feel like I didn't feel anything. And it wasn't until the second time that I was like, whoa, okay, that hit different. And he was like, hey, you know what? You can keep that pipe. It was like, oh, you're so nice. Like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's my gift to you now that I brought you into the stoner world. And I was like, okay, I literally don't know how to buy it. I don't really want to. It was just kind of like, all right, cool. I tried it. Done. Kept it in a baggie, rolled up somewhere like in my sock drawer for a long time. But nobody tells you that regular weed just smells really bad. And it's very hard to mask. So I was all like, oh shit, my parents are going to find it. But they never did. So I had that for a while. And then probably closer to the end of my senior year is when I smoked again with a couple friends. And that was really fun. I'm not going to lie. It was the one and only time I ever bought it. And for all you little listeners out there, wasn't legal up until recently. So we pooled our money together. It was like $60 for, I don't even remember a gram. I don't even know. They had all these crazy names for it. And my friend was like, oh, my cousin's friend is going to meet us at the movie parking lot. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to go to jail. We're going to prison.
Scandalous.
It was. And it was just for a little bit of weed. And looking back, I'm like, oh God, I know mixing it with stuff wasn't as prevalent, or maybe I was super naive, but it was like, oh, we're getting weed from this guy. Cool. I guess I trust him. Whatever. We bought it. Had no idea how to pack the pipe because I think I upgraded pipes. I bought my own. I felt cool when I bought it. It was blue. Me and my friend had no idea what we were doing. We knew we weren't supposed to smoke the stems. And I was like, do we just push it into this pipe thing? And we just kind of went with it. And we were in her basement in a closet. Her parents were home.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, we're in your basement in a closet. it was like the best time of my life.
So you were probably hotboxing a little at the
Yes.
same time.
Yes, which oh, well, we'll get to that too. I did that once. A little scary. But she lived from where my parents lived, she lived right up the outer road, so I was very close to home. Yeah, so who knows how long we were down there? Because when you're stoned, it's like hours feel like minutes. And I remember laughing so hard about nothing. The only thing I remember is she was like, "I need a tissue." And I thought it was the funniest thing in the entire world, and I, like, could not stop laughing. We weren't prepared because I don't think we had any food. But after that, I was like, "I have to go home." I think I had a curfew or something. Looking back, yeah, I probably shouldn't have driven home, but I was going, like, 20 miles an hour down this outer road for, like, an eighth of a mile. And I remember I walked in super paranoid. Luckily, my mom was asleep. My dad was asleep on the couch. And I'm just like, I'm fucking hungry. I'm going to get something to eat. This is happening. And I remember standing at the fridge and my dad woke up and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm hungry." He was like, "Now?" I'm like, "Yeah." I remember my clothes smelled really bad. So I buried them in my hamper. Whether or not my parents knew, I would like to say no, but I'm pretty sure you could smell my clothes. But after that, I think I smoked, like, one more time at a party, and that's when I hotboxed. But it got to the point where I was in the back seat of this two-door car, and the car was full. Apparently, my friend said I was out there for, like, an hour. I thought it was 20 minutes, so who am I gonna believe? But they were getting ready to drive somewhere, and I panicked because I knew I was like, "This is not safe at all. We are all stoned. I don't know these people, and I don't know where we're going." So I freaked out. I was like, "Wait, wait, 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 wait. I have to pee so bad." And I use that as an
Oh my
excuse.
gosh, I literally just watched a video about that. And they're like, tell your kids if they're ever in a car with somebody who they don't feel safe, that's one of the things. Either I'm gonna throw up
Yep.
or I'm gonna pee.
In my brain, I remember sitting there thinking, because I mean, we were in there for a long time, so I was really high. I just remember, this is not a good idea. We're all gonna die, and my parents are gonna be sad, and this is stupid.
They're
So
gonna be sad.
I was like, "I have to pee, I have to pee, I have to pee," and I was like, "Don't wait for me, it's fine. I just need to chill, whatever." And I don't know, I guess they ended up taking off or whatever. I was like, "Oh, thank God I got out of that
Did you
car."
know the people you were in there with?
No.
Oh my god.
Well, I had to have known at least one person, but at that point, I was like, "Ooh, free weed," because it wasn't cheap, and I didn't wanna buy it because I don't do drugs.
And how old were you around that?
I think I was a senior in high school. But I knew that I liked that versus drinking because I had never drank. Like, I had sips of my dad's beer, so I know what beer tasted like. He had these little bottles of vodka in the freezer, and one of them, the seal was broken, so I thought it was cool every now and again to just, like, take them little I mean, we're talking airplane bottles, and I would take little tiny sips. Not even sips, it would, like, brush my lips. And I mean, it was in the freezer, so it was going down anyways.
One time my mom had drank wine coolers, and the
Mhm.
next morning, I went out and drank. We're talking like it was probably backwash.
Blech.
But I was like,
Ew.
"Ooh, look at me."
Yeah, so, like, I had always taken, like, sips of my dad's beer when I was little for some reason, I think just because I thought it was cool, but it was never like, "Oh, let me go out to a party and get drunk." Because I remember I went to a party in high school. Well, I was at a friend's house, and there was a popular kid party, and everybody had beer, and I'm like, "Gross," and back then, I didn't need beer to act crazy because I was
Mhm.
so ADHD and whatever. I remember we went back to my friend's house and her older sister was like, "So, how was that party?" And I'm like, "It was great, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Is Ryan drunk?" I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "This is just me." And she didn't believe me because I was just acting so crazy
Yeah.
because I was just high on life.
Oh.
I wasn't high. But yeah, I just enjoyed hanging out with people. So after that, I knew I was going to go to college and drink alcohol. And I met up with
It makes it sound like I'm going to college so I can drink
no, but
alcohol.
I knew I wasn't gonna lie to myself, and, like,
Yeah.
I just wasn't like my group of friends in high school, we didn't do that. We just did normal things without drugs and alcohol. So whenever I smoked weed and stuff, it was never with my group of friends, it was the offset ones and twos. But no, I knew in my brain, I was like, "Okay, college, I wasn't gonna deny the fact that I wasn't gonna be presented." And yeah, I was curious about it. So I remember meeting up with one of my future suite mates at the time, and she asked me, "Do you drink alcohol?" And I said, "No, but I'm gonna." And she laughed and she was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, my friends and I don't really drink. Other people I know drink, but we don't drink. But I wanna, and I wanna try it and see what it's all about and whatever." And so she was like, "Okay." First time I ever consumed a large amount of alcohol was at a party, and it was a lot. It was like 8 beers, which for someone who doesn't drink, I remember, like, for some reason, I think I told my brother about it, and he was like, "Whoa." He's like, "That's a lot." I was like, "Really?" And now looking back, 8 beers for a brand new drinker, I'm
Mhm.
lucky I didn't get alcohol poisoning
That is a
or
lot.
something because that wasn't it. That wasn't everything. I had like 8 beers and then like 3 shots of Puckers. Remember Puckers? Yeah.
Mhm.
Blech, gross. I mean, I definitely threw up the next morning for sure. But I just remember every time I got up to go to the bathroom, I was a little bit more drunk than before. And I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, is this what being drunk feels like? This is insane. And then shit just got real fun. And then I drank and drank and drank for about 2 years. I am undiagnosed alcoholic because I was drinking when I shouldn't have been.
Okay. It's bad.
Mm, I know. Again, apparently not habit forming because I smoked almost every time I drank. So I was drinking and smoking, and this was all before I was
I
21.
remember when we met, you would smoke
Yeah, and you said I
whenever
won't
you
kiss you
can.
if you smoke. Yeah, I was social smoker. But they were always like, "Where did you find a cigarette?" I was like, "I don't know." So someone in line at the bathroom, I don't know, someone outside. People are very friendly when you're smoking and drinking.
That's true.
Nobody wants to smoke alone.
What is your, like, most memorable drinking experience?
Memorable,
Mhm.
like good or bad?
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, the last time I was drunk was pretty memorable.
That
That was a turning point. You know, when they're like, "I did it for my kids." I hadn't drank in so long, so yeah, when we were on the float trip, the kids were coming to camp with us the very last night, which
this was, like, we didn't have Finley yet, so this was more than 6 years ago.
oh, that's a long time. Feels like
Mhm.
just yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I, for some reason, just went crazy on this float trip. I shotgunned a lot of beers. I was like, "I still got it. I can do it."
You could shotgun them.
Yeah.
There were consequences.
I felt like that's when I realized that at my age, I don't understand how people drink over the age of 30 because I felt like I was dying. The entire float trip, I remember one of our friends is like, "Do not throw up in this boat." And I was like, "I'm good at timing my puking, but I do have to." And I remember I walked up the hill. One of our friends is like, "Go over there." And I walked over there, puked my brains out. Normally, that is all that I need, but I just felt like I was going to die.
Welcome to your
And I
30s.
went in the tent, and I remember you were like, "Don't go in there." And at that time, it was Mommy Ryan. You were like, "Mommy Ryan's not feeling good. Let's just
Yeah, I was
leave
so
him
annoyed.
alone." And luckily, I wasn't hungover because I was already hungover by that evening because I had drank, I had puked, I
Yeah,
needed to go to sleep, and I was hungover. And so by that morning, I felt 1,000 times better. So much shame
and
was brought
that's
upon me, and
the
I cooked
last time.
breakfast.
Have you even had alcohol at all since then?
Yeah, I had those delicious pina coladas that Mel made, and I was like, "This isn't
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anything, like,
Yeah,
nothing."
I didn't feel anything with
And she
those
was
either.
like, "Those were even" she made them like quadruple shots and stuff, but I mean, I know when to cut it off
Yeah.
because 'cause I'm a grown-up now
Okay,
and
so
responsible, but,
besides that story,
uh
are there any, like, big ones? Or I can tell you mine.
I remember I don't know, see, drinking was always a crapshoot because it was either really awesome and, like, such a fun, crazy night, usually just apartment parties, or it was, like, the opposite, and it was always a crapshoot. Am I gonna be hungover or not? It seemed like the nights that I would drink Patron, tequila, I woke up fine. When I drank, like, the well drinks and the beer, it was death upon me. But I mean, my whole drinking experience, by the time my mom was concerned, it was already done and over with. It was literally like I would drink after I was 21, but by 22, I was already like
Over it?
over it, already used up all those drink tokens and like yeah, because we were together. We didn't I mean, we went out, but you and I didn't get hammered together
No.
and
We
like
would get drunk, but it
white
wasn't
girl wasted. Like that one time at our apartment when I threw up in the sink. Like I'm telling you, the apartment parties were always the best and worst because it's like you are in a safe space. You don't have to drive
Mhm.
anywhere. You can crash wherever, but like you also go balls to the wall, hard as fuck on drinking. And I think it's just the mentality. Now, I will say, and I am not proud of it, I am shocked I am not dead in prison or both.
Because
Because I was a stupid fucking idiot and would drink and drive. And looking back, I'm just like, I don't know how I dodged all of that because it was reckless, stupid, and insane that I thought that I could. One, I hated being without my car. So I'd always drive, but then I'd end up drinking. And I'm not saying every single time, but there were times when it was like, what the fuck are you doing? I drove on my 21st birthday.
well, and it wasn't back then, they didn't have Uber or Lyft.
No, you had
So
yeah, you had
you
cabs.
had yeah, taxis. So it's not like you could just summon a car with your phone.
Being in the sorority, we had sober sister,
Mhm.
but that might have only been for Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and like there were rules around it. Like you couldn't. I mean, obviously, yes, you could get a sober ride from anybody, but like you couldn't really.
Yeah.
And there were like rules. I would always think I was okay enough. I could have completely ruined my life, someone else's life. It's something that I will instill upon our children if I have to like etch it in their foreheads so that they see it in the mirror. Fucking call me,
Yeah.
call you, call somebody. And now with Uber and Lyft, there's really no excuse. Like
Yeah.
if you don't have any money, I will
Right.
Venmo you money right now. I will call a Lyft for you. I will drive myself to wherever you are and pick you up and drive you to where if you still want to go out with your friends. Having a sober driver on those nights from the sorority probably saved a lot of lives. I'm not even kidding. Because when I was driving for it, the amount of people that I would have to pick up all night, and that was only from like I think it was from like 10 to 2. So only a 4-hour window. But seeing how drunk people get versus if you don't know if you're going to have a ride or you're just like, fuck it, I don't know. Did a lot of walking from downtown,
Yeah.
but our kids need to know that it is absolutely not worth it. And like, thank God I don't have some awful story to share, but it was not good.
Well, and it's not just the drinking and driving. My first well, 2 of my experiences with drinking, I am lucky I didn't get raped
Hmm.
because the first one I was in high school. So my experience, yeah, I tried cigarettes. I can't even inhale, so I mean that's whatever. Did not touch marijuana because especially with a dad doing drugs and having an addictive personality, I kind of stayed away from everything. My senior year of high school, I started like just kind of trying out drinking with my friends after my ex and I broke up. I went what we called backroading, which in the country that's you literally
Drive around.
drive around the back roads, you drink because there's not going to be a bunch of cops or anything out there. So someone's driving, everyone else is drinking. Like we were in the back of the truck a good portion of the time, which is also dangerous being drunk.
So the driver isn't drinking or
They
sometimes would.
I only did it like that once, so
Oh.
I don't know. But
I don't know. I was too drunk to
I'm
notice.
sure. So back to the pucker. I
Blech.
had some kind of pucker and I drank almost a whole thing of it by myself, like a
Ew,
big
that's like
thing.
sugar, and I don't even know what's in there.
Yes. So I remember it was me, a friend, and then 2 guys. And we stopped at one of the guys' house and I went to the bathroom and I remember looking in the mirror and I could not see straight in
Mhm.
the mirror. And at some point after that, I ended up making out with him on the couch. And the other guy, I actually am so thankful to him. So, Paul, if you're out there listening, thank you for being that guy who stepped in and he was like, "Hey, I think you guys should. I think we need to go."
Wow.
Yeah, so if it
Good
wasn't for
job,
him
Paul.
and I mean and it's not I was definitely way too drunk for this guy to be going further with me because I was not in a position even if I wanted to say stop, I was, like, so freaking out of it.
Mhm.
And so, yes, thank you to him for being a stand-up citizen.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about him sometimes just like, man, because he's not one of those like, he was a popular guy, and he's one
Mhm.
of the guys where I always kinda just brushed him off because it was like he was kind of like he farted a lot and, like, I think we called him Skid Mark for a while,
Oh my
and
god.
but he also was, like, cute and nice and whatever, and so, like,
Mhm.
that memory of him is, like, kinda outdoes everything else because 'cause I'm like, "Wow, that was really" a lot of guys wouldn't do that. They wouldn't stand
No,
up to their friend and stop that situation, and I don't know if he even sees the situation the same way I did or if he even remembers
doesn't
it,
matter.
but yeah, it made a difference in my life, so thank you for that. And then in my freshman year of college, it was, like, the first week,
Mm.
we it was, like, me, my best friend from high school, and then a bunch of suite mates for both of us got invited to some fraternity party, that's the word I'm looking for. We had been drinking, I remember everyone was, like, in the basement partying, and these guys would come up and be like, "Oh, here, have another drink," and, like, they're just, like, one drink after the other,
Oh,
feeding
yeah.
me, and, of course, they're, like, touching you the whole time, and I'm, like, dancing, I don't care, I'm having a good time, but, they're very handsy, coming up, touching, and I remember, like, finally, I ended up outside, and I was so wasted. That night is the most wasted I ever got out of because I was never a big drinker before that or after that. Those are, like, literally the 2 times I probably got the most drunk ever. But, I remember some girl out on the sidewalk, she's like, "Just stick your fingers down your throat and it'll help." And I'm like, "Ugh, no, I don't no, I don't throw up, that's
Per our
gross."
previous episode,
Yes,
I don't do
exactly.
that well.
Exactly. But I just remember all those guys. I have this one guy's face in my head who kept coming up, and he was, like, the most insistent, and I was just like, "Oh my god," and that's, like if I didn't have those girls there with me,
Mhm.
if they didn't take me outside, like, who knows what could have happened. Like, I'm pretty sure one guy even came up and was like he tried to get me to, like, go with him and whatever, and the girls
Mhm.
were like, "No, that's cool, we got her," and
Well, unfortunately, you need a pack
I
to
just
go with you.
spoiler to that story, I did throw up that night. I also don't remember a lot of the ride from the party to
Mm.
back to campus, which was, like, across the street. Opened the door, threw up outside of the car. Don't remember going up the elevator to get back to my room, and woke up the next morning with a napkin in my hand that I had wiped my mouth with.
Oh my god.
That after that, I was like that scared me enough. I was like, "Oh, I'm never doing that again."
That's called blackout drunk. I
Yes, that's the
never
only time.
I've never been blackout drunk. I don't know how. I don't know if it's because I would puke and rally,
Yeah.
but, I mean, we did things in I mean, being in a sorority did not help the situation because you pair up with fraternities,
Mhm.
you have a group of people with you at all times ready to party.
Yeah.
Yes, so being in a social Greek organization, you basically, and this is just my opinion, you pay to hang out and drink with your friends. That's unfortunately what I got out of it because you have events that you go to, beer Olympics, not Greek sanctioned, but holy shit, every social Greek organization and house was there wearing their team shirts. Drank a lot there. I was too drunk to go out to dinner with my parents on move-in day to my apartment,
Okay.
and I cried, and my mom said, "It's okay." I don't even think we had air conditioning in our apartment because it was broken, so it was hot, and we decided we wanted to bong some beers,
Oh my
and
gosh.
they're like, "Are you ready to go to dinner?" on the phone, and I started crying, and I was like, "I'm too drunk to go." It's just there's a lot of, like, yes, alcohol can enhance the fun. Like I said, like, apartment parties usually were probably the most chill and the most fun because you didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Going out to, like, a club or a bar is work, and you have to make sure you have a way home, and it's spending money and like, yeah, you can go out and dance and that was fun and things like that. But looking back, it was just like, it's expensive.
Yes.
It's hard on your body. And when you are that invested into being with your friends and doing what everybody else is doing, you have Thursday night, Friday night, and
Mhm.
Saturday night. And it's like sometimes you felt, hey, let's be lame and not go out. And it was like, whoa, what? And it was almost like a treat because it was so much work
Yeah.
being drunk all the time and going out. And sometimes it would, like, when it, looking back, when it started to become a problem for me, and I say it was a problem because I was drinking after sorority meetings because they would stress me out. So I'd go back to my dorm because at that point, this was my sophomore year. I was still living in the dorms. I hadn't moved into the house yet. I would go back and I would ask my friend who was 21 to buy me a fifth of vodka. I think it was Burnett's because it was cheap. It's like $6.
Yes.
And I would drink it in my dorm room. And I was the only one drinking. I was drinking by myself. And then I would get drunk and wander around. And I'm like, oh, Ryan's drunk again. Like, holy shit. Like
Wow.
looking back, yeah, that's a little touch of alcoholism, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just wasn't fun anymore. It was more like I'm drinking to numb whatever issues are going on. Because at this point, I was still closeted in a sorority, soon to live in that sorority house and finish out the majority of my college career.
Did you ever do things you regretted while you were drunk?
Absolutely.
We don't have to get into them today.
I mean, I'm shocked I wasn't raped, which saying that out loud to people who like my mom, who's probably listening to this, like on top of doing everything else dumb while drinking, yeah, that there are, I hate to say, but several situations
Yeah.
that I am not going to say I wasn't in control of. And I never did anything I didn't want to do. But would, if I hadn't been drinking, would I have put myself in those situations or done anything that I
Right.
did? No, probably not. No, definitely no. 90% no.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, that's like that guy in high school. I would have done like, technically him and I were dating,
mhm.
but would I have done it that night with him sober? Absolutely not.
The one and only time I had sex with a guy, I was really drunk, but I knew I was ready to go to sleep. It wasn't a situation where it was like he forced himself on me
Mm,
by any way, shape, or form. I knew what I was doing, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get an like this opportunity again, and I'm drunk. So it makes it easier because, all your insecurities kind of go away depending on the situation, I guess. And I was like, you know what? I'm gay. I know I'm gay. Nobody else knows yet. But hey, here's an opportunity. Maybe. Let's try it.
let's test it out.
And I mean, that's a whole episode in itself because if that situation didn't scare everything back inside, never have
Everything back.
any sexual relations with anyone ever again, it would have been that story. It's a good one, but I'll tell it in a different episode.
Yeah.
Keep you hanging. But I mean, for the one and only time I had sex with a guy, it was like it had to go that sideways
Yeah.
and everybody found out about it. But anyways, we'll talk about it later. But there was one situation on spring break when we went to Panama City. Super drunk at a club, and I left with this guy in Panama City Beach, Florida.
So some random guy that
Yes.
you didn't even know.
Not really sure why that happened.
Where were your friends?
Uh, Back at the club, one of them I think had gone onto the beach with a guy. So, am I gonna put any blame on anyone but myself? No, but then again, it's like a lot of shit happened that spring break that shouldn't have, and I don't think we were all watching each other's backs like we should have.
Yeah.
I a lot of times I was watching people's backs and being like, "Okay, you're really drunk. Do you really wanna do this? Blah, blah, blah," like, whatever. I just remember kind of, like, feeling alone, but, like, with people. I don't really remember how the conversation went, but for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to leave with this guy, and to the point where we were, I guess, driving to his hotel, he made a pit stop at the gas station, I think to buy condoms.
Classy.
Then we went to, I'm assuming his hotel room, but his key didn't work. Now, I think about this later in life. Did he really have a hotel room? Did his key really not work? Or like was something else going on? I'm not sure. All I knew is that he said, I can't believe this isn't working right now. Stay right here. I'm going to the front office and I'll be right back. And in my brain, I took this as an opportunity to bolt and I fled the scene.
I was gonna say your first chance was the gas station. This was
Correct, but it
definitely your
was like
second chance.
like I remember looking around. I'm like, this is so not okay for me. I'm so disappointed in myself. But like, I just remember thinking, like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm in Florida with a stranger.
This guy could be a
That's
murderer.
what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand
He could be
why.
selling you into some kind of sex trafficking ring.
I
Not that we thought about that back then, but
No, but looking back, I'm like, holy fucking shit! I've seen this movie before. I think it's called Taken. Maybe Taken 2. And I just remember I was like, if I don't bolt down these stairs and run away now, I may not be able to
I have to say that's one thing I have to give you credit for is
actually coming to my senses during.
you've always been that kind of person where if you don't like being in a situation, even if it was just like us hanging out and you for whatever reason didn't want to be there anymore, you like have no problem just leaving.
It makes me
Even
so
if everyone's
uncomfortable.
like, you're so fucking rude, you're like, whatever, peace out. Deuces, as you used to say.
Oh my god.
And
Gross.
I am the kind of person,
Did I ever do that? Like, do you remember a time when I did that? Or
um,
you just know me well enough
I
that
just
it's
know
like,
you. You're that kind of person. I mean, that you
yeah.
left work that one time and I was mad at you, but you've always been good at that. I am the kind of person where I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to make anyone mad. I probably would have been like, well, I already made him think he was going to get something and felt like obligated
Mhm.
to say, I think I would have chickened out. I wouldn't have run away.
Which is so funny because there were so many times where I'm like, "Oh, I really don't wanna do this," but I always stopped things for whatever reason and was like, no, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, I got what I needed. Bye."
Yeah. You've always been very good at that.
And yeah, but that one I just remember standing at the door and I'm just like, "All right, he's gone. This is a problem. Act sober. Get the fuck out." So I remember running down the stairs and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know where I am." Luckily, I'm pretty sure it was on the beach. So it was on a line, kinda like at
Hmm.
Orange Beach, like, there's just
Yeah. A
a
lot of,
shit ton
yeah.
right on the beach. Because I remember I was like, "Oh, ocean over here." Mind you, I could see and I remember I got a hold of one of my friends, I don't know, and they're like, "Where are you? Where did you go?" And I'm like, I got in the car with some random guy, he took me to his hotel room, the key wouldn't work, and I ran away." I was like, "And now I'm walking on the side of the street." And they're like, "Holy shit, where are you?" And I was like, "I can see the Ferris wheel." And they're like, "How far away are you?" I was like, "I don't know, but it's far, but I can see it." Well, our condo was on the other side of this Ferris wheel and not just right on the other side. I had a block ahead of me.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Just walk towards the Ferris wheel, like, you're going the right way." How did no one stop me? How did a cop not I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Something, in the clouds above was like, okay, we need you for bigger and better things later in life. Just get the fuck home." But that was probably that I'm pretty sure was the last time I did anything like that.
Went home with a guy?
I had never done that, first and last.
Wow.
I don't know.
I did not have a lot of those experiences. I mean, I had those too, but that was it. But I wasn't in the sorority scene. I don't know. I didn't have friends that drank a lot, so it was just never my thing.
I don't regret any of it or, like, being in the Greek life and whatever.
I was like, that night, can you regret that, please?
That night was not it wasn't fun. It wasn't like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was the best night ever in Panama City for spring break." If you think college, spring break, beach, it was the epitome of all of that.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you think about it, yes, it's true. But no, like, it was fun, but it was also, like, reckless and dangerous, and it
Mhm.
puts more fear in me as a parent than ever before because those situations, although we're in a whole new generation of all sorts of shit. Everyone does everything for show and for their social media and all that shit, but the rules of the game don't change. I'm not going to tell our kids, like, no, you cannot drink. You cannot do this. But fucking be smart about it,
Yeah.
because there will come a day when you're in a situation, whether you're drunk, someone else is drunk, this or that. My mom told me to learn how to drive a stick shift for the sole purpose of, if I'm in college and we're stuck somewhere and they have a stick shift and I need to drive home, you need to learn how to drive just for the ability to sober drive.
Yep.
And I was like,
That's smart.
that makes sense. She's like, you have no idea who's going to have what kind of car. And when we went to college, it was more common, but I don't think I ever encountered one because I always had my car. Yeah, drinking and drug. I would much rather smoke pot because I have control over what's happening for the most part. Don't have hangovers. I'm not going to lift a fucking finger because where I smoke, I stay.
Did you ever try anything besides?
Fuck no.
Yeah, me either.
No, I had ADD or have ADD. I was on Ritalin and Concerta and all that shit. So it's not like I wanted to do that kind of stuff. Never came in contact with any other drugs that I know of. It wasn't like, oh, you drank and smoked and did all this stuff. What other things can I get a high from?
Yeah, I think
I never had that urge.
I don't think there's ever really even been an offer
No.
to do anything else.
The first thing, if I'm not in a comfortable situation, I will freak out.
Yeah. I am always too anxious. I was always worried I was gonna fall asleep, puke, choke on my vomit. I was
That
afraid.
never crossed my mind.
I don't
I was a really good puker.
It was, like, something that was a big concern of mine. Alcohol poisoning, drinking and driving, like, that kind of stuff scared me too much, and so I was like, "No, thank you." Like I said, with my dad, I stayed away from drugs, so I had never even tried marijuana until I met you.
Yours truly. I introduced you to sushi, weed, apparently.
Mhm.
Technically, that was your brother.
Look at you broadening my horizons.
And lesbianism,
Lesbianism, yes.
the three main courses of life
Sushi,
in the dish of life,
sushi, weed, and lesbianism.
and vagina. Yes.
Oh,
Anyways,
wow, we went
I
there.
said it.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
So we did have 1 year at Pride Float where somebody had it to smoke and, like I said, I don't know how to inhale properly.
I will say that was fun
Yeah.
because there was a light show.
That was a fun night. I barely felt anything. I remember it was a little hard to get back to the campsite, but that was, like, it. That's all I remember. The next year, my brother brought some brownies from a friend, and we split one. So I had half of a brownie, which already was probably too much.
Everybody took a half
Yeah.
except me.
I
Because
know.
my thought was, oh, fuck, this is Julie's first time with an edible. It doesn't matter if she inhales. She's probably going to get fucked up.
Yeah. So it was probably, like, an hour later. We weren't feeling anything. My brother's like, "Let's do another half."
Nobody was. Like,
So I had another half. He had another half. I remember
and then it hits.
we were sitting around the campfire, and I was looking at the fire, and all of a sudden, it was like I kept thinking of it as something rewinding, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I hated how that felt. I felt really tired. I didn't wanna get out of the chair, but I was like, "Why does the fire keep rewinding?" And I was so freaked out, and then I told you about it. And I remember our friend next to you
Mhm.
laughed, and I remember thinking, like, "I cannot be in front of people right now. I do not need people judging me and making fun of me." And I remember I would, like
Hashtag paranoia.
Yeah,
which-
and because things kept rewinding, I didn't know if I'd already said something or not, and I was like, "You need to take me to the tent." And I think that might be when she laughed. And then I, like, turned and, like, snapped at you. I was like, "I need you to take me to the tent."
Well, because here's how it really went. You're sitting in the chair being all like weird and twitchy and whatever. You didn't tell anybody about the campfire thing until later, but you were like, I think you need to take me to the tent. And I was like, right in the middle of the conversation. And I was like, okay, we'll go in just a second. Let me finish up, whatever. And like maybe 30 seconds later, you're like, can you please take me to the tent now? I was like,
so annoyed.
holy fuck. I was like, guys, I will be right back.
So, you took me to the tent.
Yes, and it took a while to get there.
Yeah, and I remember just laying there, and I was first of all, I felt like I couldn't decide if my heart was pounding out of my chest or wasn't beating at all.
Those are two very different
Yes.
things.
And then I remember my skin felt like some kind of weird metal. Like, picture the screensavers on the old school computers, and they'd have those like waves of like color go
Mhm.
through. It was like that, but like little pieces of metal that interlocked. And that's how my skin felt.
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Mhm.
The things in the room, it was very trippy. Like, there were colors and things moving. But I kept thinking like, "Oh my god, there was something else in this. It wasn't just weed. I'm gonna OD my first time trying weed,
Mhm.
and my kids are gonna have to tell people that their mom died from a drug overdose." So you left. You were like, "I'm going to the bathroom." I'll
I think I said I'm gonna go tell everyone good night
Yeah. And I remember
and
I was
pee.
thinking, I was like, "He went to call an ambulance. He's getting an ambulance is gonna come here, paramedics are gonna come in any minute because I OD'd, and they're gonna have to take me to the hospital." And I was so convinced that's what was happening. You weren't gonna come back by yourself, you were gonna come back with paramedics. So, we get through that, you come back, there are no paramedics. And I just remember I was like, what did I say? "I need you," because 'cause I'm not a snuggler. I
Mm-mm.
just wanna say that, like, especially camping and hot, don't touch me. I was like, "I need you to hold me because I need to know that I'm still here." And I remember you, like, kinda put your arm around me. I was like, "No, I need you to, like, hold me tighter
Mhm.
because I need to know that I am still here, and I can't do that unless you're touching me." And it was very I hated it. I remember I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up, and I'd be like, "Shit, nope, everything still looks weird." I'd go back to sleep. I just wanted it to be over.
Mhm.
That was not fun.
That was too much.
'Cause I would like to reiterate that I really hate being out of control of my body. I don't even like getting numbed for, like, dental procedures. I like to be in control of my body, and I have since tried I did try smoking, and it was okay. We did the vape that one
That
time.
was nice.
It was okay. I was still kind of like, I still don't like it." Because I hate that. I hate not being able to remember if I've already said something.
Well, what's funny is that so I am the most stereotypical weed smoker. Like I go through all the motions like clockwork. And trying that vaporizer thing or that vape pen was nice because it didn't burn as much as just normal smoking it. But then I can feel it come on. There is a moment of panic because I'm starting to like become not fully in control of all the things. And I remember sitting there and I was like, no, I'm with my camping friends. I'm in a safe space. We're good. And then once I get past
Whereas I was like, "These fuckers are laughing at me."
right. Well, and then after I let go of that, because I think part of the claustrophobia kicks in, like, oh God, I am in this now. I can't just turn it off. I have to write it out.
Yeah,
And that's when
I
it
think that's what
gets
I hated about it.
and when you eat edibles,
Mhm.
that portion, at least for me, lasts so much longer. And the freak out and the internalizing and whatever, it's just like, oh my God, just get to the good part already. So when that kicked in, I was like, oh God, all right, here we go. And this is all in my brain that I'm like, just relax and enjoy it. And then once I'm over that, then it's like, okay, I'm not getting up for anything right now. But then I forget what we've already talked about.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was one point I kept asking you, did we already talk about this? Or like, wait, what was that? And you kept repeating. You're like, oh my God, I just told you. So then I was like, oh my God, she hates my guts. And I'm annoying and whatever. And then I was like, the little paranoia. But then the like laughing kicks in and like that's the best because just everything's funny.
See, and I feel like I got, like, 2 seconds of that. I was like, "Oh, haha,
You
things are funny," but then I was like, "No, I'm over it."
Yeah, you just went straight into tripping your balls off.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's
The brownie, I didn't have that at all. When we baked it, I had
Oh, okay.
yeah, for a few
Yeah,
seconds.
I remember laughing a lot. The campsite itself kept changing. So, like, I get the campfire thing for
Yeah,
you, but I was like, "Wait, are we at our campsite or did we move?
yeah.
Okay, wait, no, we're at our" like, I was
Well, and
lost.
that's what I hate, like, that where I'm like, "Did I say that already? Wait, did
Mhm.
we already have this conversation?" Like, I hate that part of it. It makes me feel so stupid.
But then you remember that you're sitting somewhere and you're just so comfortable and so heavy, and then you wanna eat. And then apparently that's when I ripped open the bag of
Oh,
cookies
yeah, you did.
that the next morning, Chris was like, uh, can someone tell me what got into
Who
my
ate these?
cookies? I was
Yeah.
like, that would be me because they were so
Yeah.
fucking delicious. Just Chips Ahoy,
And I
regular
tried
cookies.
that same weekend, we had bought gummies.
Yeah, the gummies just, it
Had a
scares
gummy,
me.
nothing happened, and had another one before our friends even got there. Like, we were by ourselves before our friends got there.
And yeah, nothing.
"I feel it, I hate it," and I went and slept until it was gone because I was like, "Nope,
Yeah.
don't like it."
See, that's another thing I like too, is that you can kind of time it to where you're not like if you're drunk, sometimes it's like you're gonna be drunk for a long time now because of how much you drank.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw up, you're gonna sleep. You might still be drunk in the morning. With smoking or vaping weed, it's like you go through all these motions and then you can feel it as long as you're still awake. You can feel yourself coming down off of it. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like I can function now. I can talk. Like, I don't understand how people smoke weed and function during the day.
I don't know. When I had that brownie, that was another thing is I kept thinking, if something happens to one of the kids right now, how am I going to go respond to that problem?
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
How would I go to the hospital like this?
You wouldn't. I would.
But then I would feel like the worst mom in the world. I couldn't let you do that. Go without me.
Well, I wouldn't go without you. Maybe just leave you in the car.
No.
Like, go to sleep. It's fine.
Anyway, so
Kudos for me for staying responsible and not doing
yeah,
anything
good job.
because I knew that was going to happen.
Well, thanks for the
But
heads up.
I let you make your own choices.
Well, alcohol has never been my friend. The last time I drank, I had Fireball
Look, I've never had Fireball.
and I had horrible I like Fireball, it tastes good, but I had horrible acid reflux, and then I just felt like shit the next day, and I was like, "I'm
Well,
not doing this again."
I think the only thing that I like are the camping pina coladas,
Mhm. Those are good.
but that's because I didn't taste the alcohol. So I
Mhm.
am perfectly fine
Having a
drinking
virgin.
virgin
Yeah.
drinks. I just don't have a taste. I never did. I never had, I mean, maybe on a hot day if you give me like a Bud Light Lime,
Oh,
because
when we did, like, the brewery tour
yeah,
and had the beer and pretzels at the end, that was good.
because that
Otherwise
was fresh out of the keg.
otherwise, I don't like beer.
Yeah, I'm not going to go out and be like, yes, let's drink beer
Yeah.
unless it tastes like something other than beer.
I can have fun in life without drinking.
Yes, I'd rather there's now that weed and gummies and all that shit is legal, it's like, no, there's so many alternatives to just like be happy, be
Yeah.
good, be chill, and
Honestly, if
just
I
with
just can sit without having responsibilities and jump in a river or lake or hike, I'm good. That's all the exhilaration I need.
mhm. I'm just talking simple. Just like the car, I don't need bells and whistles. Give me a joint, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need anything fancy. So, drugs and alcohol
Don't do drugs
that are illegal.
that are illegal. Be responsible with your alcohol and your drugs.
And kids, if you ever listen to this, don't take pills.
Oh my god, for the love
Fentanyl
of
is
God.
real and it kills.
I mean, let's be honest. If
But
you're using drugs on a consistent basis to numb your pain, whether
yeah,
that be
true.
mental or physical,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Well, yeah.
And
But I could see why people like it.
it's not being overlooked by a doctor.
Mhm.
But don't do drugs. Don't do alcohol.
Hugs, not drugs.
And if you do them responsibly, please.
Be kind, rewind.
All right. On that note, if you like what you're listening to, share it with a friend.
Like and subscribe.
Follow, rate.
The stories we leave you. Anyway. Okay, bye.
Bye.